Welcome back, Miss G.
Hi.
This is our final coaching session. Yay! All right, no, we will continue to work together forever. So, anyway, all right, this is our improved session. So we're going to look at where we were and where we've come.
And where we're going.
And where we're going. Yes. So, based on my observations of the strategies that we talked about in our last session, you implemented.
I did.
ABC Ya is just a game.
And it was a fun Friday. The kids loved it.
Okay, good. And they were able to get in a little interaction, that seemed like it was very well received.
Yes.
So,
It was
okay.
fun getting to use the board.
Yes. Play with your new toy.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me, because that was just kind of a little bonus.
Right.
So tell me about the strategy that was of most concern to you that you tackled and
Okay.
you feel well about.
Google
Okay?
Classroom.
All right.
Google Classroom. We've got everything set up. All 6 of my classes set up. All of the kids are in there. And then I was able to, with your help, figure out how to create assignments. So I went in and did the assignments. I was able to push them out to the students. The one hiccup I had was doing a meet, because I thought, well, you got to do a meet, and then somebody tried to join the meet, and there was really no meeting. So I was like, just kidding.
Testing, sorry.
So then I took the meet off.
Okay.
But then this week, again, yesterday, I uploaded the new week's worth of lesson plans,
Okay.
so that those virtual kids can still access it, because
Okay.
they are still out until after Thanksgiving
Wow.
holiday.
Okay.
So I've got one class, I'm down to 3 students. I've got 13 out in that class. I've got 2 out in another class, 1 out in another class. So all these quarantine kids
Yes.
now have access to their
Yeah.
Google Classroom, what's expected. They have the materials already sent home, so they're able to kind of follow along with our regular class.
Links to learning what they need.
Right,
Okay.
right.
All right. Well, good. And
So that was huge.
Yeah. And so you've progressed towards your goal of doing that, and now the students will progress towards that goal as far as interacting with you through Google Classroom. And like we've said before, is they're a little more comfortable with it because they've used it in multiple
In other classes.
Now it's your turn, because you're a primary software-based classroom. It's you haven't had the experience of using that, with paper,
Or
pen
the
and
need.
paper, or the need. Yeah, that. Whereas some classes that has taken the place of 8 million worksheets, which I think is wonderful. But your class is different. So, and then you've done a great job as always implementing strategies and being open to new strategies, even though they might seem a little I don't want to do them at first. But once you get with it, and really and truly being a media specialist, this has been my first year using Google Classroom as well with my Spanish students that I'm
Right.
facilitating, as well as now there's a gifted class they're having me look over. So I'm kind of, you learn as you go. So
Right,
anyway,
right.
But yes, no, that's great. And everything that was reviewed and observed, was right on point, and I think it will just grow from there, and you'll find more ways to be innovative in using both methods, as well as finding more things that will help those. Hopefully, in years to come, we won't start with such a learning curve. Like we talked about with those low students, but now there are resources out there, and even though, like you said in our last meeting, that ABC Ya looked so elementary to begin with, and of course when you hear ABC with something, you think of very preschool, very basic, even though that's where
But
some
that's
of those
where-
kids are.
That's where they are.
That that it will, but it did accommodate.
I just didn't want it to be baby.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it was
and where
not.
they were not, yeah, and something that was going to grab their interest and be fun for them too while they're learning. So I think you did a great job on all of that. Now for our wrap up of our 3 sessions of coaching with the Identify, Learn, and Improve, we're going to talk about the direction and how we're going to monitor the progress from now. We won't have any more videos per se, except unless you say, hey, I'd like you to video this because I want to see how I did with it or how my students reacted.
Sure.
We can definitely do that. So since we're neighbors, and we can always work
Pop
together. That's right. So what's do you have anything additional on your mind or anything that you want to talk about specifically?
Okay, so being that my program is software based,
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, I don't really want them taking assessments while they're not under my supervision. So I don't want to push out anything like that.
I see.
I know that we've got to do, with all the students who are out, we've still got to do their reading inventory and get their new Lexile for mid-year.
Yes, yes, yes.
I want to keep them at home for that, so I'll wait until they get back. But when you're pushing things out, and I'm not sure how it would work with the Read 180, when you're pushing things out as an assignment, other than just, here's what we're doing today, do these workshop pages in your book, if I'm pushing out a real live assignment, what I'd like to know is how to get that back, how to attach a rubric. So that would be the next stage
Let me
that
grab
I'm
a pen.
interested
My
in.
pen's dead because I need to make notes of what we're saying. Okay.
So pushing out assignments, attaching a rubric, and I think that's what I would like to do next.
Yes, and there is a way to make it to where you can directly see those assignments that they're turning in. Now they have.
In some aspects, I've heard of other teachers saying that it grades for you.
Yes, if you do it in like a form, then it'll grade for you.
Okay.
Then there's also, and we have a couple of teachers who are pros at that I would love to learn from, but this is something that we can, so the grading and attaching, like say, rubrics or supplemental,
So for me, this is like advanced level.
Yeah. I know.
But that's where I think I want to go next.
Okay, all right, that sounds great. That's a perfect direction to go in. So, all right, and just overall, I'm going to throw out a few questions and just you kind of summarize your experience with what we've done so far. As far as what's gone well, were there anything specifically that showed that the strategies that we talked about worked well? Any progress that you've seen above and beyond? We've kind of covered this in our little introduction. Obviously, you learned something new.
Yes,
what
I
you learned,
lots of new.
what surprised you, or are there any roadblocks? So just kind of as a summary, just look over those questions and just kind of briefly explain anything.
All right, so what has gone well? For sure, the kiddos loved ABC Yacht. It was a fun, something new, not the boring drills.
Yeah.
That went very well. Also, the ability to push out assignments to my kids who are virtual, and really, literally, one click and all students got it. I didn't have to go into individual students and email. Today we're doing this, tomorrow we're doing that. Progress made towards the goal. I think I met our goals from the last meeting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What did I learn? I learned how to set up a classroom. I learned how to push out even the Google Meet that I did accidentally.
That's right.
I learned how to push out, what their assignments are, go into assignments. Surprised me. What surprised me is the minute I put that meet out there, within 30 seconds I had one student coming back trying to join the meet. I was surprised that they are on it and notified almost instantaneously. They were. I had confirmation that they received what I put out there and they were working.
So it's almost immediate interaction.
Exactly.
Like literally, like your text
It's like
messaging
I
with
was
them
in the
or
classroom
your,
with them. So that was surprising. Roadblocks, I don't know that I really have any roadblocks just yet.
Okay.
I just want to learn more.
Yes. So roadblocks are to be determined.
Yes.
And learn more. Okay. Learn more ways to use
To
Google
utilize
Classroom,
Google Classroom.
to where it's a benefit. Okay. All right. That sounds great. So it sounds like in my opinion, we've done a great job. So
Because you're awesome.
All right. Let's, and I really don't think we've really got that. We really have many improvements that need, like you said, we just want to add to what we've already started. So a question, this is kind of the invent improvements questions for our step 3 of, moving forward. Everything's kind of where we're going to go. We don't want to just stop what we've done and forget about it. We
Right.
want this to be something, whether we are meeting weekly or whether we're not, that it's still something you're using, which it helps that we're implementing it school-wide, so it is something that is on, it's not just a new initiative that's not being used.
Right.
So we're using it all across. Plus, it's going to help our students when they get to high school. You know, I remember my first semester at Georgia Southern for my master's, they used Total Google. Well, I had never used any of the Google Docs and the this
Right.
and how to share and how to make sure that, you know, documents were public so that everybody could see them, so on and so forth. So, okay. The strategies that we see, obviously, we don't want to change any goals. The new strategies, we're keeping our strategies the same, so I think we're moving in a good direction. So for right now, like you said, there's no roadblocks and really no improvements that need to be made. And our final thing that we'll talk about, and then we're wrapping it up, is we're just going to kind of leave it open as far as next action steps. If we meet, I won't say if, when we meet again, and what you want to do, we've already said that, the group rubrics, the attaching, the grading of the assignments, and let's just say we've got Thanksgiving coming up, and let's just say in between now and like say the second week after we come back, maybe we'll come back together and see if there's some things. Right now with Thanksgiving and Christmas,
Right.
we're going to kind of be in a
Maybe
transition.
meet in between though.
Yeah,
If we
maybe
can
meet in between, and then gear up some things for when we come back after Christmas.
Because then I'll have a
Mhm.
whole new semester, maybe new faces, so it would be nice to hit the ground running in January.
Yes, that would be awesome. And on a scale of 1 to 5 to wrap this up, how committed compared to the beginning when we were very skeptical about where the students were and what we were doing, 1 to 5, how do you feel about the goals that we've created now?
I think we're a solid 5.
Awesome.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you so much for participating and letting me coach you.
Well, thank you for teaching me.
Awesome, awesome. Oh.